So the iPhone and Galaxy lineup are now at its all-time closest, but which of these two phones is better? They're both well-built, good-feeling phones, and both undeniably slippery. The S6 is slippery due to its all-glass front and back and thin body, and the iPhone 6 is slippery because of its equally slim body, but also its radical curves on the edges. Now the S6 is with Gorilla Glass 4 on the front and back, and without a doubt, it's a stunning phone. Now outside of the giant camera hump and the fact that it's a fingerprint magnet, it's an almost flawless design in my opinion. It feels premium and it looks premium, and that's pretty much the end of the story here. Now the iPhone 6 takes a slightly different approach with a metal construction on the back. It doesn't get dirty, but it's also not quite as stunning a design in my opinion, although it's less prone to cracking and, like I said, fingerprints and dirt and oils. The camera hump on the back is minimal and it's never bothered me. It has rounded and curved edges that feel really awesome when you're sliding your hand across the screen on the edge. And the only problem I might have with the design is just the antenna lines on the back aren't super attractive, but it's not terrible at the same time. Also with the iPhone 6 you get a slightly smaller footprint, so that's something to keep in mind if you do have small hands, but the moral of the story, you can't go wrong with either design. Now even down to the buttons and ports, these devices are incredibly similar, and yes, Samsung definitely took some cues from the iPhone, but I'm not complaining, it doesn't make a difference to me. The iPhone does have a physical vibrate switch, which is definitely an underrated feature in my opinion. Both of these phones have physical home buttons, and to put it simply, they're both awesome. They're fingerprint scanners that can be used both to unlock your phone and also in different apps and to pay for things. And they're really awesome. They're both accurate, they're reliable, they're quick. I found the iPhone was better at weird angles, but the Galaxy was just more consistent overall. But you can't go wrong with either of these fingerprint sensors, and they both do help to both speed up your unlocking of the phone and also be more secure, so A+ for both of these companies in terms of fingerprint scanners. Now a slight edge to the S6 because it does have software keys on both sides of the home button, which is convenient, and also by double clicking the home button you quickly get to the camera, which is very fast. Now outside of software, the biggest difference between these phones may be the screen. And let's keep this simple, both screens are excellent, but the S6 has a bigger, sharper, brighter screen with deeper blacks and more saturation. The iPhone 6 has a more realistic, accurate colored screen with still excellent viewing angles. It still gets pretty bright, doesn't quite get as dim, but they're both excellent screens. Of course the S6 is bigger, which is a definite plus, and the extra resolution is nice, although not always necessary. But essentially, you can't go wrong with either of these screens, but in my opinion, I would prefer the S6 due to its sheer size and resolution. Now one area that the iPhone surprisingly wins in would be battery life. Now neither of these phones have great battery life, but due to the massive and high resolution display on the S6, it struggles to get through a full day, where my iPhone 6 generally does get through a full day. So neither are perfect, both will probably have to be charged sometime in the day, but my iPhone 6 definitely did get longer than my S6, although the S6 does feature wireless charging built in, and it also has fast charging, so you can charge your phone from 0 to 100 in roughly an hour and a half, where it's maybe 2 to 3 hours on the iPhone 6. So overall, the iPhone 6 does have better battery life, but the S6 does have some cool battery features. So yet again, another aspect where both of these phones are spectacular would be speed. They're both excellent, they're both quick and responsive, and aside from the occasional hiccup that I did get in the S6 because of Android, they both were really nice in day-to-day usage. Now the camera is certainly subjective, but really it's up to you which one you want, but they're both excellent. They're both top of the line, and either way you can't go wrong. Again, it's a similar story to the screen. The S6 does have the bigger, higher resolution screen with 4K video, optical image stabilization, with more saturation. But if you want more realistic photos, still sharp photos, if you want better slow motion video and better time-lapse video, as well as better panoramas and just more accurate shots, then the iPhone 6 is for you. But if you like that saturation, you like a little bit sharper images, and you just want an experience that is just a little bit more poppy, then the S6 is for you. But they're really both excellent cameras. They both have great video. The S6 does have 4K, the iPhone 6 has much better slow-mo, so there's pros and cons of both, but in day-to-day use, they're both quick, they're both responsive, and they both give you great shots. And finally, there's the topic of software, and this is really what's going to be the differentiating factor for many people when considering these two phones. And for me, they're both excellent. They're both top of the line in terms of their history. They're both the best versions of each operating system. Of course, we have iOS 8 on the iPhone 6, soon to be iOS 9 in the coming months, and we have Android 5.0.2 with TouchWiz on top of the Galaxy S6. Now, it's entirely subjective, but in a nutshell, iOS is easier to use, it is snappier and quicker in general usage, it syncs fantastically with iPads and Macs, it has great iCloud services for backing up and syncing, it has far superior designed applications, so the applications are just higher quality and you can't really deny that, and it just works. There is no confusion, there's little lag, there's no bloatware, and it's always stock. Now, Android is more open to possibilities. It's not as easy to use, there's often bloatware, but you can make it your own and exactly how you like it. You can have more features in the camera, more features on the home screen, you can have multi-window mode, and you can just customize a lot more. And that's something definitely nice, but if you want the simplicity and just the reliability of iOS, the iPhone 6 definitely provides that. And on top of that, it definitely does have higher quality apps when you compare two apps side by side. Often, even Google apps are often better on iPhone than on Android phones. And it's kind of sad, but that's just how it is, and that's one big factor between the two. So at the end of the day, these are both really great phones and don't have many flaws. For me personally, with my iPad and my Mac and my family that uses iPhones, the iPhone makes sense to me because of iMessage and iCloud and how everything syncs, but I wouldn't have a problem using the S6 at all. And it's the first Android phone that I've really been able to say that, and I truly think this is the best Android phone on the market. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, as I've been working on this video for over 2 weeks. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video.